Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Today, we have a guest on the show, and I am so excited to share her with everybody because her stories are kind of similar. And, I have a soft spot in my heart for moms who are raising kids on their own and making it happen. So, I want to introduce my guest today. I've got Steph Shanks here with me, and she is a photographer. Steph, thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. When I read your information, I'm like, oh, I need to have her on the show because being a mom is hard, right? Being a mom starting a business is harder. Being a mom trying to do it all is just like exhausting. So I'm like, I need somebody to come on and share their story because I know there are a lot of moms I know out there that are listening right now and they're feeling overwhelmed and they're feeling defeated and they're questioning, can I even do it? To have you on and show that, yeah, you can. Uh, thank you. I want to get started by just finding out a little bit more about you and what motivated you to become a full-time photographer.
Yeah, that's a funny story, or it's not funny, but I became a full-time photographer out of necessity. I didn't feel like I had a choice. I was going through a divorce, and it was just traumatic. It was traumatic for everybody involved, my kids especially. They needed me. Um, my ex-husband ended up in prison, and I mean, we go deep real quick, right? But
Yeah,
and
right.
my youngest was 3 years old, and I took him to daycare, and he was just crying. He's like, "Mommy, don't don't go," because he's already going through so much. So I made the choice to um, put everything I had into my photography business, not knowing hardly anything. I knew how to work a camera, but I had no business experience whatsoever, and uh, just started making it work. That that's why I did it, was for my kids.
I I can relate on so many levels to what you said, except um, the why behind it, right?
Yeah,
My ex-husband was very active in the picture, so he was involved, and it was still overwhelming for me to try to do everything, but everything, you really were the sole provider and had
yeah.
everything on your lap. So, out of everything that you could have done, why photography if you didn't know a whole lot about it?
I just I when I was in high school, I wanted to be an artist, and everyone said you can't make money being an artist, you can't make a living. So I just decided I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna prove everybody wrong, and I'm gonna make it happen.
Did people think you were crazy too? Because they thought I was nuts, like I lost my mind.
Yeah, I thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
I was afraid to tell people. I thought if I told people I was quitting my job and being a sole provider of my children, that everyone was gonna be mad at me. Like I really felt that. So yeah, I absolutely. I thought I lost my mind, and I just assumed everybody else thought I did too, and that's okay.
Interesting. So why did you think people would be mad at you?
Because almost like I was giving up,
Oh,
like,
interesting.
I was taking the easy way out.
The easy way, that's such a
Right. I know.
but in your mind, that's what you told yourself. That was how you really
Yeah.
thought people would view things.
Yeah. I grew up, everyone in the Midwest works really hard. They do their jobs, they don't complain, and they just
Yeah,
they keep going. And I, for the life of me, could not keep going how I was going. So that's why.
interesting. I got it.
Yeah.
I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah. So What was it like in the beginning when you first started? You made this decision that you're going to focus on photography and learn that craft and start selling your services. What was it like in the beginning for you?
It was really scary. I was overwhelmed. I had to learn how to build a website. I had to learn how to market myself. Um, all the things. I built it on a complete shoestring budget. I didn't, I, YouTube was around, but it wasn't as big as it is now. There wasn't really a lot I could go and search out. So I just, the first thing I did, I rented a little billboard that was at the county fair. It was $20 a month or something like that to put my name on it. That was the first thing I did because that's what I could afford. So yeah,
That's interesting. I mean, you recognized right out of the gate that even though you're just launching this business, that you had to market yourself. Like you had
yeah,
to invest something, even if it was $20 a month, you had to invest something into getting your brand out there, which a lot of people, I got to give you credit for that because a lot of times people that I even work with, they're like, well, I don't really want to put any money into it. Like I can just and networking's great. I love networking. I'm not saying anything wrong right that, right? You have to network as well as promote yourself. But they're afraid to like put money in because you don't see that immediate return. Like you didn't get that billboard well, I don't know if they did or did, but somebody typically doesn't call you the very first day and say, "You're hired. I saw your billboard."
they did actually.
Does
Yeah.
I love that you're just proving me wrong. Did they really? What was that like? Were
Yeah.
you like, "Oh my gosh"?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I was like. It was really amazing. It was a fellow mom from my kids' school. She's like, I saw your sign, and can you take my family pictures? I thought I'd made it. I thought I'm good to go now.
I'm done. That's it. That's it. That's all I have to do. That's
Yeah,
incredible. I mean,
yeah,
honestly, like what a sign, like right out of the gate, right? Your first
yeah,
$20 you spend in marketing and you got it back immediately. That doesn't always happen like that. So
yeah, yeah.
that
And
is
yeah, and it wasn't that easy, right?
right.
Obviously, like they didn't keep coming in like that, but yeah, it was pretty much the day or the next day. I really thought that was it.
Oh my gosh. So when you first started and looking back over everything, what were some of or a big challenge that you faced
Are we talking about work? Or are we talking about marketing? Are we talking about home? What did
in
you want
your
to
business? We're talking about
in my
like getting your
business?
business, growing your business.
The hardest thing for me was understanding the power of marketing, and because I didn't go to school for that. I was never taught marketing. So I Facebook had just come out and I had had a lot of luck posting pictures of my kids, and people loved them and sharing them, and but that was it. So I didn't know how to get from, okay, people know I'm doing photography that I know, to how do I get people that don't know me to know I do photography. That was the biggest hurdle, and I had to teach myself that. It was quite a, I mean, I still do it, right? That's always been the
Right?
process. How do I keep getting my name out there? And we're 14 years in, but yeah,
Right.
that was the biggest hurdle.
And that's interesting that you say that because I've seen that as well with a lot of people who, because I'm in the digital marketing world, and
Yeah,
let's face it, right? If you have a phone or a computer, you can be a digital marketer. And a lot of times people are like, well, I'm a marketer and I can market your business because look at how many friends I have. And I'm like, listen, it is totally different when people know you. And yeah, you can have a ton of friends and they're all engaging and your numbers look amazing, right? But take something that's not a sexy brand, right? Take an auto shop or take or take a doctor, right? and make it so that that content's engaging and in their brand voice. And it's not easy.
Mm.
It's not easy at all when it's a business that you have to promote. It's a different game. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that you just shared that.
Yeah. And also when you want to do new things too. So I went from family photography to portraits and headshots. Okay, how do I brand that? And so it's just a progression of so many things. Yeah.
So how did you know which areas to focus on? Because as a photographer, there are so, like you just said, there's headshots, there's family, there's newborn, there's weddings, there's, lifestyle, like the list goes on and on and on. Like, how did you
Yeah.
know what your niche was?
I didn't. I tried everything because I was a single mom and I had to. I photographed weddings for a long time. I photographed dog food. I photographed everything just because I had to make I didn't have a backup plan.
Yeah.
So whatever came my way, whatever came my way, I was down to, and that's like a really hard thing now because now I get to choose, but that people pleaser inside of me is like, oh, I don't really shoot dog food anymore. So
Oh yeah, preach, preach. I know.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
I'll say no to things, but I feel so guilty because I'm like, I could do it, but I just don't want to do it because it's just doesn't make me happy. I feel you there. So, what is
yeah,
it like as a mom, as an entrepreneur? Like, how do you balance your personal and your professional life?
yeah. Hold on one second. Somebody's at my door and they
Oh
keep
yeah, go
knocking.
ahead.
Do you mind if I? Okay, you're still on my thing. Just you'll hear it.
No problem.
Hi. Oh, great. Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry. I didn't. Um. Okay, hold on. My arts and crafts are here. That's okay. But makes us. That's okay. Thank you. Oh, back to the pot. What was the question?
Okay, hang on.
My Walmart order came super quick. That was crazy. Okay.
Okay, I'm just time stamping it.
I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Okay.
Okay.
As a single mom and an entrepreneur, how do you manage to balance your personal and your professional life?
I I'm pretty bad at that, to be honest. I have
Okay.
definitely I put my professional life in front of my personal life. In order of what's important, it's my kids, my work, and then me. And I'm really trying for this next year to kind of start putting myself first a little bit. It's been ingrained in me for so long that I have to work really hard. And I'm just at the point now where it's like, okay, I don't have to work so hard. I need to start putting more emphasis on me.
Yeah. I still get that guilt when I spend time on myself or do something for me. It still creeps in. And my kids are out of, like, they're grown, they're adults.
Yeah,
And it still creeps in. So on
it
your
does. Yeah.
journey, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I don't know if that's a woman thing or a mom thing or what it is, but
I
it
think
might
it
be a
is.
combination.
Yeah.
How important is being self-motivated when you are an entrepreneur?
There's, I don't know if there's anything more important than that.
Mhm.
I don't, I can't, if you don't have that self-motivation to get up and do the posts and do the marketing and make your clients happy and learn the best, how to be the best at what you do
Mhm.
so that you can provide for your family, there's, if you don't have that, there's, that's like that's the gasoline, I would say.
Yeah.
That's the battery. That's what makes us go, the wind up.
So let's keep it real, because there are days when it's so hard to get motivated and you rather
Yeah,
stay in bed, or you rather just cancel all your appointments and go do something or whatever, right? You're just like, or
yeah.
so imposter syndrome creeps in your head, right? And you're like, and it starts telling you you're not good enough. But what are some strategies that you use to help keep yourself motivated?
The biggest thing that helps me stay motivated is every day I make a list, hour by hour, what I need to accomplish, and that's what keeps me. I do it in the morning so that my own head doesn't get in the way. I do it when I
Yeah.
am super caffeinated with coffee, and
I love that.
and
I
yeah,
get
it's like
that.
it's 8 to 9, it's 9 to 10, 10 to 11, and I write out my whole day. And if I don't get it all, I don't get it all, but at least at least that effort that keeps me going.
Yeah, I get it. There's like power in scratching something off that you did it. I don't know what it
Yep,
is. It's
that's
just
so
like, yeah.
true.
It's like it feels so good. Like, I don't know, there was a time, I don't do it anymore, but I will do it if I need to, if I'm feeling like I need to motivate. But I would literally put like on a list like shower, like checked it off. I got it done. Like
Yes,
one thing,
yeah,
one thing's off my list.
yeah. Walk the dog. Of course, yeah, that's
Right?
something I have to do
Whatever.
anyways, but it's, yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
I know. I know. It's so crazy. It's funny though, but there's power behind it, and you feel like you've at least done something. Like, okay, I'm moving in the right direction. So,
yeah.
being a single parent is obviously it's hard, right? It's not easy by
Hmm.
any means. And when you're trying to build a business and you're a single parent and you're dealing with so much, um, what advice do you have for somebody who is a single parent who's just struggling to stay positive and motivated while they're trying to build their business?
I think that when I'm struggling, so I can only speak for myself,
Right.
how I can help and what I would tell other people is that no matter what you're doing the best you can. You're doing the best you can. You're already on that path. You just don't realize it. Like, how many times have we been so stressed out we don't even look around and say, "Oh my gosh, look how far I've come."
Mhm.
So I think that's the biggest way that if you're struggling, just realize how far you've come. And sometimes that's just enough to get you to the next point.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. And, you know, it, I remember times when I was going through everything, doing the best I can, and you beat yourself up. A lot of times you don't see that. You're so right. Like, you don't recognize how far you've come because you can still see how far you want to go. And
Yeah.
you don't do that. You're right. That's such great advice. I mean, where were you a long time ago to tell me this when I was going through it? How has being an entrepreneur impacted you as a role in your role as like a single parent? Like, has it changed you in the way that you are with your children since you're an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it has. And I will say that my grandparents on my mom's side, they owned a grocery store, and on my dad's side, they were farmers. So that entrepreneurial spirit is in my blood. And I can't help but try to get my kids to do the same. So my son is selling, he goes to thrift stores and sells things online, and he's 16. He just turned
I
16, so he's
love
been doing it a
it.
little while. And my other
Oh
kids,
my
it's like, what are
gosh.
you guys doing? What are you, are you posting on TikTok? Like what are you guys doing to market yourselves, even though they're not even selling anything? But um, yeah, just it's so ingrained, and it's such a great experience to have that I preach it. I preach it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's kind of funny because my kids have done the same thing, right? Like, and I get so excited when I see them doing something where it's like, oh, like this is the beginning steps of somebody who might own their own business one day, like we had a grapevine and my kids would, and trust me, I was like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing, right? But they were kids and it was also kind of funny, but they'd pick the grapes off the grapevine and go to the end of the driveway and sell them. I don't know what they were asking to sell them for. Like, with individual grapes that they picked that probably weren't even ripe at the time, right? But I was so like, oh my gosh, like they're looking for something and they're selling it. And
Yeah.
it's like just those really weird moments, and you're like, this is so cool. It's really cool. My youngest son, which is kind of funny, it's a funny story. I didn't know what a beer snake was. Do you know what a beer snake is?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so. No.
I didn't either, right? So my kids go to these XFL games, which are like the NFL, but a different division. And they road tripped it
Okay.
to Washington, D.C. to go watch them play and built a beer snake, which is like when you drink a beer at these games, you get a cup and you keep stacking, and you get everybody in the audience a stack of cups. So it starts at the very bottom and it ended up going all the way to the top of
Oh.
like all the stadiums, right? Anyhow, they did it twice and made ESPN, and people were talking about it during the airing of the game. They had the
That's
game on one,
fantastic.
and the side screen they had this beer snake, and I was so proud. I am like, they're like, oh my, and my son's at the bottom holding it, right? He was on a mission. And I'm
Yep.
like, that's leadership skills. Like, I was so
Yes.
excited. I'm like, yeah, he might be a little intoxicated, but look at him leading a crowd to
He's
do
on
this.
ESPN.
I know, right? I know. So it's like a mom,
Yes.
it's like you get so excited when you see these little signs because it's so fun. So what
Yeah.
has been like the most rewarding aspect of running your own business so far as a mom?
um, I spending my own money on my
Oh,
kids.
yes, I hear you.
Yeah. I'm taking a trip whenever I've had extra money, taking a trip with them somewhere, even if it means driving in a car for 17 hours to get to the coast. Anything that has to do with travel and being able to take my kids along on the journey, or being able to afford something for them that I want to give them.
Yeah.
That's the most rewarding for sure.
I love that because that's your why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I love that they're so included on everything that you want to continue doing. So what's in the future for your photography business? What do you see? How do you see it evolving in the next few years?
I think the biggest thing for me is that I'm taking more time for me, and my business is evolving and it's gaining more momentum every day. And that just means that maybe I'll always work really hard at it, but maybe I can start kind of relaxing a little bit and know that I'm going to be okay not having to hustle. And I think what that will do is just keep attracting those right clients. The less stressed I
Yeah.
am, the more I can create and make beautiful things. And you know,
Oh, I love it. I love it.
yeah,
You're doing a headshot mini marathon
I did it
right now.
yesterday.
Is it
Yes,
yesterday? I'm like, I know I
it was.
saw something when I was
Yeah, it was
checking your stuff
yesterday.
out.
hmm
So tell me a little bit about that because I thought it was so cool. Like, what is that about?
It's really fun. It was a busy day, so everyone. comes in an hour on the hour, and the women all get hair and makeup done first. And then I photograph them for about 45 minutes to an hour, 2 to 3 different outfit changes. And then I get the next one. So it's kind of a
Wow.
revolving circus of sorts. And
How
it was really
fun
great. Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
fun. And you partner with somebody who does their hair and makeup? Like, are they
Yes. Yeah.
there? Or
They're there.
that
They're there too. So that's been
that's fun.
yeah, it's super fun. It's been something I've wanted to do for a while, is find that hair and makeup artist that I can just call when I need and be like, hey, my
Yeah.
client needs to come in. So it's been really great. And
Yeah.
just,
That's it sounds like fun, and having those photos are so important. Especially when you're in
yeah,
business, it's like having nice headshots. Whether you own your own business or you work for a company, having a nice photo of yourself is just definitely really
yeah,
important. Yeah.
yeah. And, when I first started doing headshots 3 or 4 years ago, it wasn't such a big deal. And now it is.
Yeah.
Now you have to have a good headshot for podcasts, for speaking, for your job, for your website, for everything. So it's it's super important to have a really good headshot. So yeah,
Yeah, it
it works.
definitely
It
is.
works. Yeah.
For the people that are listening right now who are single parents and they are thinking of being an entrepreneur, are there any resources or communities that you were part of that you would recommend for them where they can get like support and guidance on how to scale their business?
Yeah, I think that the app
Okay.
Meetup's a really good place to find like-minded people that are doing similar things. The library has always been super important to me, finding groups that are anything, if you're starting out, anything free is great. So YouTube is great too if you're self-motivated, but finding those groups online, Facebook groups, all of that. We're so lucky right now to have so many things available to us.
Yeah, I would
And
agree. There
LinkedIn.
are a ton of them. And LinkedIn,
Yeah,
is that which platform are you on most of the time? Where are you most active?
LinkedIn.
Are
And
you?
then
Okay.
yeah, LinkedIn is where I get a lot of my clients from, and I have my friends on LinkedIn. I have like specific friends that I only know on LinkedIn. Uh, and I love that. So I have my LinkedIn friends, and then I'm also on TikTok and Facebook as well. So I create
Mhm.
videos on what to wear and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah. Everybody listening, you need to go check that out because I know that's really hard to figure out. As somebody who's not a photographer, when we
Yeah.
meet with you, we're like, what should I wear? Do I wear patterns? Don't I wear pattern? I am
Yeah.
in black 99% of the time, but I know that sometimes I have to change that up if I'm going to take pictures, and it feels so weird because I wear black. I love black. Like I'm always in black. But
Yeah.
yeah, so knowing what to wear, I will stress over that before I get my pictures taken, trying to figure it out. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and I always just
that's just
recommend people just bring everything. Bring your whole closet, and I will go
I
through it piece by
love
piece, and we'll figure it out
it.
together.
I need to get my
Yeah.
photos taken from you. You're in
Yeah.
Wisconsin, right? Is that where you're
I am in Wisconsin. Yeah.
at?
Yeah.
Just a short little drive.
Yeah. Just it's not the nicest this time of year. Maybe wait till summer, but
I love
um
it.
yeah, because I don't know how many times I've had people wish they would have brought something else. Oh,
Oh yeah,
I
I
was
get
gonna
that.
bring that and I forgot, or I was gonna bring that and I didn't think, and it's like, no, so just bring everything. Like we'll
Just
just bring
yeah,
everything.
I mean
Yeah.
that's really good advice. Bring it, right? Because at least then you have it instead of saying if you think you might want it, just bring it, just pack it
Yeah.
and bring
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So if
Generally, yeah, shoes aren't as important as people think. It's more about the upper for sure. But
ooh, interesting. I like that.
yeah,
I like
yeah,
that. That's a really good piece of advice because I probably would put a lot of time into shoes.
yeah. Most people do.
I know. I know. I'm like, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I bought three
But
shirts and 10 pairs of shoes. It's like,
yeah.
okay, great.
I'm that person. Yeah. It's kind of funny. So if somebody is where you were,
Yeah.
14 years ago
Yeah.
and they're just not happy. They know that something needs to change. What type of advice would you give them?
So basically, what would I give? What would I tell myself
What
14
would you
years
tell
ago?
yourself? Yeah.
That it's worth it.
Oh,
That fear is actually, I just posted this. I mean, everyone talks about it, but bravery isn't not having fear. Bravery is having fear and choosing to do it anyways. So it's the fear shouldn't be holding you back. The fear means you're on the right path and you just have to keep
mm,
going.
I love that. And what a
And
positive note.
don't worry about what people think. That's another thing.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, but so true. So very, very
Yeah.
true.
The
Oh
older I
my
get,
gosh.
the easier it is to not care. But I know when I was younger and I'm a people pleaser by default, I
Yeah.
just really wanted to make everybody happy. And I didn't know how to do that. I knew I couldn't stay in this box,
Yeah.
but I didn't understand that I could not be in that box and still be happy and other people around me were just doing their own thing too. So
Uh, I couldn't agree with you more. I think the older I get, the less I care. I'm like, I'm gonna be me.
yes.
I'm like, I don't even
Yeah,
know why I put so much energy stressing about what somebody else thinks because it doesn't matter.
it really
Doesn't matter.
doesn't. But 20 years ago, if someone would have said that, I'd be like, yes, it does. It does matter.
Right.
But
Right,
so,
because we're afraid of being judged. We're afraid of what
yeah,
somebody would think or what they would say. But the reality is nobody really pays all that much attention to you. Like they
right.
really, the ones that are the ones that are jealous and they're watching you close. But
Yeah,
everybody else, like, no, just be you. I think people appreciate when they see somebody's real personality coming out and it's different from everybody else's.
yeah. And, people that are going to hate, and people that are going to love you are going to love you. So might as well just
Yep,
keep
I
keep on
agree.
keeping on. Yeah.
Yes, yes, Steph, thank you so much for coming on. I am so
Thank you.
excited and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day for this. So thank you. How can
Yeah,
we
this was really
find
great.
you?
Thank you. My
Oh,
website,
welcome.
yeah, I would do stephshanks.com is my website, and LinkedIn is LinkedIn/in.
I There you go. You're
There you
back.
go. You're back. What the heck?
All right.
All right. I don't know where we got to, but
I don't know
I don't
either.
know either.
I hear an
I
echo. Let
hear
me
an echo.
stop
Let me
this.
stop this.